Okay, Miss Emma, let's get right into our review for today. We're learning the new chords, more adult versions of the ones you already know. The basic ones are G, C, and you've got E minor. Now that is technically also the adult version of that, but there's a different E minor I'm going to be having you practice now. So the G chord, the full G chord that I call, because there's several different ways to play a G chord. Pinky on the 3rd fret, 1st string, ring finger also on the 3rd fret, but the 2nd string, middle finger on the 6th string, and then index on the 5th string of the 2nd fret. And now what you'll want to do is make sure that that all your fingers are curved. You don't want any of them to be straight like that, or otherwise interference. Remember, the 2 reasons a string will not resonate are interference or lack of pressure. So going through this chord, make sure 1 string at a time. Every single one resonates. Okay, and all together should sound pretty like that. And if you at one point, like for example for the 6th string, if you hear that, then you know that it's lack of pressure, so you want to put more pressure down. And if you go to this 5th string and you hear it like that, it's either interference of this one, which in that case you will feel a vibration in this finger. If you don't feel any vibration from the string hitting this one because of interference, then it's most likely lack of pressure then. So making sure each one, these 2 have no fingers on them, so they should be nice and easy and open. But if they are also muted or muffled, then it's either interference from this one if it's that 4th string, or if it's this one, it could be interference from your nail, from your ring finger of interfering with that 3rd one. But just make sure every single string resonates. Okay, so that's your full G chord. The next chord will be the C add 9 chord. So this will substitute for your C chord, the simple C that you know. So each one of these will go, your index finger and middle finger will go down 1 string, and that's it. So for this one, for the C chord, you do not want to play this bass E string because it's not a part of the spelling of the C add 9 chord. So the C add 9 chord is spelled C, E, G, and D. But this E, if you play it first, even though it's in the spelling, it just doesn't sound good. See, to hear that? It doesn't sound right. But if you start from the 5th string now, it sounds nice and pretty that way, and much more like a beautiful chord rather than starting from the E string up here. See, it sounds much more different. So for the C add 9 chord, also go through that one. This one you'll only have 1 free string right there, and that's your C add 9. And then the other one to learn will be the E minor 7. So you could play it one of 2 ways. You can either play it this way and move the middle finger back in the 2nd fret, so these 2 will still stay the same for these 3 chords. So this one, for the E minor 7, you can move that middle finger back, and all I'm doing is just rearranging the arch of my fingers, or you can bring that one on top. C add 9, E minor 7, or C add 9, E minor 7, whichever one would be more comfortable for you. Most students, I will admit, say this one is better, if only because the switch into the C add 9 is easy, whereas this one is technically easier to hold down and it feels good, but it's some students don't like the challenge of the switch going like that. But if you're up for the challenge, then just try playing that, going back and forth. But this will be how it should sound for the E minor 7. You will play all 6 because the E is obviously in the spelling of the E minor 7, and then C add 9, and then your G chord. Now from here, your goal is to practice switching between them. So you're switching these 2 fingers uniformly instead of going like 1 finger down, 1 finger down, 1 finger up, 1 finger up, which is good to start, but ultimately you want to try to move them both at the same time. Same with the E minor 7, either like that or just switching them back and forth like that, sliding it. That's all I'm doing, is sliding my middle finger back. I'm not even lifting it, I'm just sliding it back into there for the E minor 7. And consequently, these will move just because I'm shifting, but these are staying in the same fret, just to reiterate that. So practice these switches any combination of them, like E minor 7 to G, or E minor 7 to C add 9, C add 9 to G, C add 9 to E minor 7, and then of course, if you've already done that, then G switching back and forth to E minor 7, you'll have already done because you started with the E minor 7 switching to G. So just any combination of those to switch back and forth, and then once you feel comfortable with all those, then add in the D chord, trying to switch back and forth, like a G to a D. For this one, for example, G to a D, middle finger, I choose to go middle finger first to migrate all the way down that first string, and then my index finger. That way I'm not crowding it when I bring my index first and then my middle finger having to travel. I think it's easier, middle finger first, then index, then take off pinky. But whichever is your preference, it doesn't matter to me. But as you can see, G, that index or middle finger is going to go all the way to the first string. I know you can't see that, but all the way to the first. So this one was on the 5th string. It's going to go down to the 3rd, and then the pinky will come off. And then you'll go back to the G, adding the pinky. I migrate the middle, then the index. So that one, reverse, will be adding pinky first, then middle, then index. Now going back to the D, middle finger, index finger, pinky. Back to the G, pinky, middle finger, index. And then just keep practicing that back and forth, and then eventually it'll be uniform like this. But just one finger at a time is a good practice of memorizing the muscle memory. Same with C add 9. Do the same thing, C add 9 to D, middle finger first, index down, pinky off. Pinky back on, middle finger up to the 5th this time, and then index up to the 4th. So the index does not have to travel as far because it's only going from the 4th string to the 3rd string for the D this time. Okay, and then same with E minor 7, or whichever way you're doing it. Practice E minor 7 to D. Okay, so all of those you need to go practice switching back and forth from, and then go to the book and try to play This Land Is Your Land or You Are My Sunshine with the adult chords with the strum pattern. Down, down, up, down, let's switch, down, up, down. Okay, so that will be a challenge. And then do that down, down, up, down to D, down, down, up, then G, down, down, up, down to E minor 7. And just practice the down, down, up, down pattern back and forth between each one. So that will be up to you on how intense the practice. You can go slow, you can go fast, but I recommend going slow and then building up to going fast whenever you're practicing. Like this, for example, down, down, up, down, and give yourself time to switch, going middle finger, index, pinky, and then go down, down, up, down, add pinky, migrate middle finger, migrate index finger, down, down, up, down, and then just keep going back and forth, and then try to get a little bit faster. Middle, index, pinky, pinky, middle, index. See what I mean? So you do the same thing for that with C add 9 to the D, or C add 9 to E minor 7, or D to E minor 7, whichever combination, just as long as you go through every single chord to the other chords. Okay, so practice on that, and I will see you next week. Bye.